Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Okay, so speaking of Nazis, want to talk about a police union?
I don't know if I want to talk about a police union, but you said police union and Nazis in the same breath, so
well,
maybe I'm on board?
This is just me generalizing and saying that law enforcement agencies in the United States tend to be touch on the fascisty side.
A touch?
Just a smidge.
Sorry, I'm willing to be the person that says unions are good and based, but if you're a police union,
I mean, so the story itself isn't about Nazis, but still fuck this union. So this was sent to me by Progress Only. It says, Police Officers Union says man who posted video of police doing donuts is a snitch. First off, can we just take a moment to appreciate the humor in police officers doing donuts in their cars?
That thing that they get onto other people for doing because
no, not that. It's a donut, Cyrus. It's a donut.
Oh,
and they're cops.
It's a joke because they're fat.
The pigs are eating their donuts. and the people who post videos of it are snitches. Yeah, so, but you basically hit the nail on the head for the story. Police union said the man who posted a video of the police officers doing donuts in the snow was snitching. So, yeah, they did donuts. He took a video. He posted it. And then the Houston Police Officers Union went on Facebook, called him a snitch, and shared photos and videos of the person who posted the picture from, like, years ago when he was doing traffic violation stuff. As if to be like, well, this guy doesn't have a perfectly clean driving record, so who is he to say the cops can't do donuts?
He didn't claim that he did, though.
No, he didn't.
Like, tu quoque is a fallacy for a reason, my guy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And so Brown, that's the guy that posted the video. He said, the officers were having reckless fun and doing exactly what they told citizens not to do. So yeah, it's in this case, it's like he has direct experience with being told you can't do shit like this while driving. So I can understand why he would be pissed about, like, oh, that guy over there in that car, that maybe even that officer specifically pulled me over and said you can't drive like this, is now driving like this. What the fuck? And the
idea that police are immune from that stuff has baffled me for years.
I recall a moment when I had just learned how to drive, and I was sitting at a red light, and I remember seeing a cop who was also sitting at the red light, but he was in the left turn lane, and at one point he turned his lights on, blew the red light, and then turned his lights off, right off as soon as he was through. And that moment has stuck with me for years, because it's just like, I guess the rules just don't apply. Like, what do I even do here? Like, he's like, they're not supposed to be allowed to use their emergency lights just because they didn't feel like waiting for the light to turn green.
They're not supposed to be able to, but they do it anyway. Like, there are people who join the police force for good reason. I have police members in my family. I understand that there are people who legitimately get into it because they want to do good. But I think it's a good idea to also recognize when you are just part of a giant corrupt organization from the top down. And this is one of those scenarios. Yeah. It's in the funny way.
Well,
where, like, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's still very obviously not right.
Well, the police union president, Doug Griffith, said, "We are human. We like to have a good time, just like they do." It's like, okay. So next time you catch me doing donuts and you pull me over, do I get to just be like, "Oh, come on. We all just like to have a good time here," or are you going to give me a ticket?
Yeah, you just get to go, I'm human just like the rest of you, so I want to have a good time. If it's a reasonable excuse for the police officer, it should be a reasonable excuse for the civilian.
Yeah. The police union made fun of Brown for his cracked windshield on Facebook and called him a snitch. And then in the interview, the police union president said he took it a little serious, and then things went off the rails a little bit. Like, a powerful organization that also worth mentioning, this is Houston, Texas. The guy who posted the video is black. So like there's a dynamic there
Yeah.
that you should be aware of. So like to have the police union bullying one of the citizens for posting a video being like, hey, this is not appropriate behavior on behalf, like, from the cops, to respond to that with bullying and then just be like, you took it too seriously. We were just kidding around. It's just a joke. We're just doing japes. It was just a little bit fun.
But you wouldn't have considered it just kidding around if you had caught somebody else doing it.
Yeah, like if the guy that caught them doing it, if he had been caught doing donuts, there is a non-zero chance that he would just be shot dead because of the color of his skin.
I mean, we are in America, and statistically that is the case.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, no, you don't get to defend yourself by being like, oh, no, we were just poking fun at him. Like, it's just japes, just japes.
He took it a little seriously. Like, you're the one with the power dynamic in your favor. You don't get to determine when a joke has gone too far.
Here's the thing. I joke around with my kids quite a bit. Sometimes the jokes do go a little bit too far, and feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
At that point, my response is not to be like, oh, I was just joking. I can't believe you're getting hurt by this. I mean, it's just a joke. That's not my response. My response is, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll stop doing that now.
Yeah, it's recognizing, like, it is...
I now know where the line is.
It is a responsibility of that person to go, oh, a boundary has been drawn, especially if you're the person who just has more social awareness because you have more experience, because you're older. You recognize, the boundary is here.
I don't think the president of the police union has social awareness.
I don't think he does either. I think he's not disenfranchised. That's not the word. Disconnected? Definitely disconnected. But regardless, the fact of the matter lies, if you are the person with the power or the experience, when somebody else says, hey, you've taken it too far, you don't, as the person with the power and experience, go, no, I haven't. I'll show you what taking it too far looks like. You don't be that person. That's what a piece of shit does.
You know what it looks like when you get too far?
You've been a bad little girl and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now.
Because you went too far.
You did go too far. It hit the cervix.
I have been told by credible sources that is not always a bad thing.
I have been told by credible sources as well that it's not always a bad thing, but it depends on the person.
And the way it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they also posted videos of this guy ghost riding his own vehicle. So like he put cruise control on at a very slow speed and like climbed out on his hood. Which, like, yeah, that's reckless. Yeah, I don't think you should be allowed to do that. But the guys that gave you the ticket for that should also not be allowed to do stuff like that.
Yep.
And I don't think that is controversial. I don't think that should be controversial.
No, I think that there should be no such thing as rules for thee and not for me.
But then what Griffith said, this is the police union president again. He says, you can't do what he does in public and then go and call out others. Absolutely you can.
What? I'm sorry, you can. You can. You can do something, recognize that it's wrong, and also point out when somebody else does it because you know that it's wrong.